Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I'm not even ready. Here we go. Okay, so this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to be counting on the abacus. When we count on the abacus, hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully you guys can hear me. We're going to be counting on the abacus. So when we count, we have all these is 0. This is all 0. Because this is 0, this is going to be 0. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. So what we're doing is we're going to count on the abacus, and we're counting on the abacus. So this is an abacus. It is a counting tool. We're going to count 1, 2. So we notice we have 1, we have 2, right? And then we have 3. After that is 3. Then we have 4. This is 4. And I was like, what? So what we're doing is we're counting on the abacus. Let me know if you have any questions. After that, we have the value of 5. Because we have the value of 5, oh, I have to go live. Go live. Okay, there we go. This is the value of 5. When we look at it, right, it's the, oh, that's not the right one. So here is 5. This is the value of 5. So if we look, all of these beads are touching. This is all has the value of 5. Now, what does that mean? That means that this is the beads are being the beads are touching. So because the beads are touching the horizontal bar, this is being counted. Because this is being counted, this is all the value of 5. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Now, if we look, I'm going to zero it out. I'm going to zero. That means none of the beads are touching. So I have 5, and then we have 6. Because we have 6, then we have 7. So that's what we have. We have 7, and then we have 8. Not Mike. Welcome. So 5, 6, 7, and then we have 8. After 8, we have 9. After 9, we have 10. Oh, wait. That looks very fast. I wonder if TikTok will play nice today, because I've been having problems with TikTok. Okay, so we have 1. We have 1. It looks like 1, right? But if you notice, we're going to do 10. 10 looks like this. So if we look, 10 and 1 looks very similar. We have 10 and then 20. So 10, 11. If we have 11, 11 looks like this. Look, if it goes 1 and 1, because it's 1 and 1. Hey, Birdman and Richard and Mateo, welcome. So we have 1 and 1. That's 11. And then we have 12. We have 1 and 2. Does that make sense? So what we're going to do is we are going to learn how to read the abacus. And then we go again, right? We're going to do 0. This is 0. And then we have 1. After 1, we have 2. After 2, right, we have 3. Thank you so much for the hearts. After 3, we have 4. 4 is over here. Now, if you notice, all of these beads are holding hands. Because they're holding hands, they're touching the horizontal bar. These are being counted. Now, what does it mean? Why? Anybody have any questions? Let me know. Hey, Lizette, welcome. If anybody has any questions, let me know. So what we're going to do is we're going to know what the value of 5 is. The top bead will always be the value of 5. Because we have 5, we're going to do 6, we do 7, we do 8, we do 9. So if we look, we have 5, and then 6. That's what 6 is. This is 7. This is 8. And then this is 9. This is 9. And then notice this is 10. If we look, we have 10. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have 10. If you notice, if I line it up, I have a 0 and a 1. 0 and a 1 means 10. If I did 0 and, 1 and 1, right? 1 and 1, this is 11. 1, this is 11. Now, if I look, this is 12. No, that's 12. 1 and 2. Does that make sense? Let me know if you have any comments or questions. Let me know if you have any questions, because right now what we're doing is we're learning how to read the abacus. So if we look, well, how come you're over here? Well, let me tell you. The reason why I'm here is because if you notice, I'm going to have an indicator. This is my indicator. This indicator is my label. It's my label for the ones place. Thank you so much for the hearts. So if you notice, this is my label for the ones place. So, but notice I have another one over here. And it's just like, I choose you, like a Pokemon. You know how you choose a Pokemon and you choose whatever Pokemon you use to help you battle? Hey, Neon Panther, welcome. In the middle of the night, who would want to do that? You guys are all crazy. There's 56 people in this room looking and reading about math. What we're going to do is we're going to be talking about math. So what we're going to do is, just like we did here, we have these indicators. These indicators are like telling us where the ones places. Thank you so much. Hey, MVC, hello. Thank you so much for the hearts. So we're going to count again. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we have 4, all these beads that are touching the horizontal bar is considered counted. So these are counted as 4. Does that make sense? Let me know if you have any comments or questions. So if you notice, none of these are touching. So these are all zeros. Thank you so much for the likes. Wow, that's crazy a lot. 2K already. Okay, I'm going to focus. So notice we have the top beat. The top beat will always, and TikTok is not playing nice today. So we have 9 and then we have 10. Notice we have ones, tens, hundred, thousands, 10,000s. So if we look at it, we have 11, and then we have 12. This is what 12 looks like. Then we have 13. Wait a minute, that looks very familiar, right? We've done that before. We've done the 3. So if you look, there's a 3 and a 1. Because there's a 3 and a 1, we can do 14. There's a 4 and a 1. And then we do 15. MVC, do you have any questions or comments? Any questions about what we're doing? What we're doing right now is we're learning how to read the abacus. When we learn how to read the abacus, then we can start into adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to understand how to read the abacus. And we're back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because there's 4, then we have 5. After 12, 13, 14, and then 15. And then, if you notice, we can do by tens. We can count by tens. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 40, and then 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So notice this is 9, this is 9, this is 9, that's 9, this is 9, 9, 9, 9. These are all 9s. So if you look, and I rewrite it, this is what 9 looks like. Oh, maybe I do this. Maybe I do that. Maybe I do this. Is that right? Is that good? Okay, so if I do that, then we have 9, comma 999.99. That's a lot of 9s. Yeah, but if you notice, we have our ones or tens or hundreds or thousands or 10,000. And notice right here is our decimal. This decimal, after the hundreds, we don't have any more beats. So, but this is all what 9 looks like, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to, hey, hey, Jenny, welcome. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to clear the abacus and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I did this and I did that, what number do you think this is? What number do you think this is? Put it in the chat what number you think this is. Now, if we look, we have our place values. We have our ones, our tens, our thousand, our hundreds. So what number do you think this is? If we have 3, thank you, Neon Panther. Thank you, Cynthia. 3, 5, 4. Exactly. Thank you, Mateo. Ooh, yes. Okay, cool. So what's going to happen is what we're going to do is we're going to continue on trying to figure out how to read the abacus. So I have a little thing. I don't know if you knew this. So I have a little maze, and this maze is kind of cool. This is a cool maze. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to look over this thing. And what this thing is going to do is we're going to look and see how to follow the path. And what it is there's a starting point. There's a starting point, and then there's the ending, right? And then we got to find our way to get there. Are we ready? We're going to work on this maze. So if I have this number, yeah, oh, I'm so good. Hey, you know what? I don't know if you know Ethan, but Ethan was the one who's like, hey, maybe you should try to cover the paths. I'm like, how am I going to do that? So now I did it. Now I made it. And it's because he said, why don't you try covering the paths? I'm like, that's a great idea. So there we go. What number, right? He's so smart. You guys are so good at helping me like make my product better. I am so lucky to have you guys. I'm telling you. 883. Neon Panther does very well. Neon Panther. Okay, does everybody understand how that made sense? Okay, so if we look, right? When we look, we have 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 800. When we look at, okay, great. When we look at it, right, we have 800, this is 800, 5, 6, 7, 8, this is 80, and then this is 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to color it in. So we're going to color it in, and that's what I've got. And then now my next number. Here is my next number. So this one is the 3 digits. And so I'm actually working on this book right here. And I was going to do a reverse. So there's a reverse, but I didn't quite do that yet. So Neon Panther says 3, 5. Okay, so then we're down here. If we're down here, what number is that? Hello, everybody. What we're doing is I'm showing you parts of a maze. So I have this, this, that. So when I look, what number do we have? Wow, Neon Panther, you're on a roll. 862. Oh, Cynthia. So we have 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 5, 6. Okay, cool, right? And then 2. Nice. Okay, so that's what it was. 5, 6, 8, 2. Okay, so we're up here now. So what we're doing is we're looking through a maze, but I can't show you the answers because the answers are on the path. So we have this number, and then this number, and then that number. What number do you think that is? 780. Yes, perfect. So we have 780, so that's what this is. All right. So our next number is 1. Okay. What number is that one? 610. Yes. 610. I was hoping that Ethan came around. Hey, Kylie. Sorry, Kylie. So, I was hoping to see Ethan. I want to show him what I made. I'm quite excited to show him because he was the one that mentioned it. So we have this one, and that one. What number do you think that is? Well done, Kylie. 610. What's the next number? I have to be patient. Hello, Manny. Let me know if you have any questions. Hello, Mateo. Well done. 5, 4, 5, 9. Exactly. Hey, Dana. Yep. So 4, 5, 9. That's what we're doing. So what we're doing is we're reading the abacus, and after that we can actually go into some adding and subtraction. So, There we go. There we go. What number do you think this is? What? 9, 5, 8. Thank you, Neon Panther. Wow. Thank you, Dana. 5 name. Okay. And then next one is this one. So we have that. Maybe I do this. All right. So then we do this, that, this. Ah, that was quick. Okay. Yes, you're right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is that. And then we do this. We have that number. Okay, what number is that? So we do this, this, and then that. Whew! That's quick. That's pretty good. Right? You guys are fast. Okay, good, good. Okay. 4, right, 4, 2. So what we're going to do is go down here. Can we see that? Yeah, we could see that. So, after that we have 1. I have to not try to say it out loud. Good, Kaylee. And Neon Panther and Dana and Mateo. Woo, Mateo's keeping up. So we do here. We got 2 more. We got 2 more. So we got this one. Okay, we have that, this, and that. That's an easy one. Yes, yes, that's a good one. Yes, it is a 0. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. 0. We can do 0 if we talked about leading zeros, or it could just be 86. That's okay too, right? So that could be 86. And we have our last one. So this is the maze. We have our last one. This is the last part. What number is this? Oh, right. So what number is this one right here? 406. Exactly. 406. Thank you, guys. That's it. That was my maze. So I have the book that I created, and that was the thing. I wanted to make sure that it made sense to cover it, and then you can lift it up, and then you're done. There we go. Cool, right? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, so we talked about how to do that. We talked about how to read the abacus. Now what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to add. When we learn how to add, what we got to do is we need to understand how to move the beads. Yay! So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn how to add. The reason why is because we need to know how to move the beads. It's really simple, right? The idea is it's simple to use and easy to understand, but to make sure that we understand how to do it. The one thing we need to also realize is that in the abacus world, we focus on the add-in. We do not focus on the result. It's all about, oh, we're going to do the 5 friends. We will do the 5 friends. It's all about the result, right? No. It's not. It's all about the add-in. The reason why is because what we want to do is we want to make sure we understand when we add the number. This one specifically, we're talking about how to add a 1. So when we have our number, we have 7. Notice when I bring it together, I use the 2 beads, I use my finger to bring it together to the horizontal bar. So now this is 7. We have 5, 6, 7, and we want to add 1. When we add 1, it doesn't matter which bead you're adding as long as it's 1 bead. So what's going to happen is my answer is 8. And then again, when I do 1 and 1, 1 and 1, notice it doesn't matter what bead I'm pushing up as long as I push up only 1 bead. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. So what I'm doing is, then the next one is 2, right? We want to add 2. Abacus is like life, right? We want to know, we want to marry the process and divorce the result. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand the process. What we're doing here is we want to add the 6. We put the 6 down, and then what's going to happen is we're going to add the 1. When we add the 1, we're only moving the 1 bead. I hope that makes sense. So when we add the 1 bead, my final answer is 7. We're not focusing on the result. We focus on the add-in. And the add-in is what helps us understand. Because after this, right, after we understand, the question is do we have enough beads? Do we have enough beads to add the 2? So here, again, if we have 5 and then we add the 2, do we have enough beads to add the 2? Yes, we do. Just like Bob the Builder. We'll see how the internet works. So when we look at it, we have 6. This is 6. So I put 6 on my abacus, and the question is do I have enough? Yes, we do. So I'm going to add 2 to here. So I'm adding only 2. I only add 2 beads. So my final answer is 8. And again, because I did the plus 2, I can do the plus 3. And the plus 3 is the same. I clear my abacus, I add the 5, and then I'm going to plus the 3. I'm going to add 3 right here. So it says 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move all the beads up to the horizontal bar. Notice when I add to the horizontal bar, that's what I'm adding to the horizontal bar. Then to subtract, it's take away from the horizontal bar. So I'm actually moving away from the horizontal bar, so that means I am subtracting. So now we know how to add. We know how to add 2, then we know how to subtract 2. And again, it's the same thing with 3. If I know how to add 3, I know how to subtract the 3. Does that make sense? So as we move, we see that there's a balance. When there's an opposite and there's an action and reaction, right? We add to the horizontal bar, we take away from the horizontal bar. Same thing with the 5. If we add the 5, we go to the horizontal bar. If we remove the 5, it's subtract the 5. It's away from the horizontal bar. Does that make sense? Let me know if you have any questions. So this is again, plus the 4 doesn't have a lot of numbers, right? So you can only do 2 questions. 0 plus 4, which is this, or 5 plus 4, which is that. That's it. So those are only the 2 questions that we can have. So then, and then after that, we have the 5. Thank you so much for the hearts. So this is our negative, right? We know how to do the negative. I talked about the negative. When we add the 3 and then we take away the 2. 1, 2, and I take away the 2. Does that make sense? Yeah? Thank you so much for the hearts. And then it's the 3. Again, it's the same thing. So this is 8. When I look at it, it is 8. And then I want to take away the 3. I take away the 3, all I'm doing is removing these 3 beads. right? If I had 9 and I take away the 3, then I'm left with 6. Hello, Ethan! Ethan! I'm so happy you're here. Guess what I made? And I made it because you mentioned it. Hello, Ethan. We were doing the maze, right? You were talking about the maze. Remember the maze? That's what I did. I made it just because you said it. And I was thinking about it. And now that's what I did. And it was a great thing. Now it's part of the book. I don't know. I know. You're so smart. Thank you so much for your advice. And I was like, I don't know how to do it. I had to think about it. It took a while for me to think about it. And I was thinking and I was thinking and I was thinking, and this is what I made. So I actually made this, and then you can actually download it. I put it as part of the book. So there's the book that has the maze, and I will have this as part of it. So yes, thank you so much for your suggestion. I'm so happy you're here. I wanted to make sure. I just made it too, and I was like, I wonder how I could do it. So that was it. So going back, we are talking about adding and subtracting. So the first thing we're going to do, so then what we're doing is we're going to subtract the 4. That's the same thing, right? We don't have a lot of numbers to subtract the 4. It's either 4, add the 4 and take away the 4, or it's plus the 9 and then take away the 4. Notice I do the whole thing at once. I don't do it 1, 2, 3, 4. I do the whole thing because I know it's going to be like that. All right. So that's about minusing the 4, and then obviously we have minus the 4, we can add the 5, right? Because we can add the 5, it's the same thing. But there's a little bit more questions with adding the 5, right? We could do 1 and then plus the 5. We could do 2 and then plus the 5. Oh, sorry, that's 2 and then we plus the 5, right? So plussing the 5 means going to the bar. Going away from the bar is subtracting. So we know how to add, we know how to subtract. And then we have 6. Well, notice when we have 6, I want 2, and I'm going to add 6. When I add the 6, I'm bringing these two beads. When I remove the bead, when I remove 6, right? When I minus the 6, I'm going to take away the beads. So I add the 2, add the 6, and I take away the 6. So again, because we know how to add the 6, we go to the horizontal bar. We go away from the 6, away from the horizontal bar. That's minusing the 6. Does that make sense? Let me know if anybody has any questions, and we're going to continue on. Who has questions? So we have 8. This is 8. 8 doesn't have a lot of numbers. 8 is just 1, right? We will have 1, and then we're going to add 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, and we bring it together like that. And then we minus the 8. We add the 8, minus the 8. Add the 8, minus the 8. That's it. That's it. And then 9. 9 is not a whole lot, right? 9 is you add the 9 and you take away the 9. That's it. And then after that, we do the minus, which is what I showed you already. All right. So anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? All right. So my question to you is, what happens if there's not enough beads? So that's the question. What if there's the question is, what if there's not enough beads? Well, if you notice, if there's not enough beads, we're kind of cooked. No, we're not cooked. Why? Because we have things that we have. We have no freeloading numbers. What does that mean? Well, in school, we're teaching children these numbers. We're teaching children 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, or 1 plus 4 is equal to 5, or 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 2. Then what we're going to do is we're actually going to utilize this concept. When we utilize this concept, this means that we can actually manipulate it, and we're going to do a little bit something like algebra, right? So that means that when I look at the 4, my equation that I have is 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. Why would I want to do that? Well, when I want to understand this concept is because I want to add 3. I'm going to add 3, right? And then I add 1. When I want to add the 1, I'm sorry, when I want to add 4, that's the question. 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4. There's not enough beads to add the 4. Notice there's not enough beads to add the 4. We only have 1 bead left. So what are we going to do? This is where we have to do a little, it's going to look like this, right? And to isolate the variable, I want to move the 1 to the other side of the equation. When I move the 1 to the other side of the equation, 4 is equal to 5. This is not a balanced equation. This is not a balanced expression. So what we're going to do is, thank you, Panda. Panther. What we're going to do is we're going to minus the 1. Now, if you notice, right, we have a bunch of formulas. This is just a number. It doesn't matter. It does. You know why? Because this is a little bit about direction. So it's telling you the obvious thing what to do. What do you mean? It says add the 5, take away the 1. All you have to do is add the 5 and take away the 1. And now our answer is 7. So what this did is it gave me a little bit of instructions, and we're not beating around the bush. Does that make sense? Now we're not beating around the bush. So let's do another question. If we do another question, I got to move my stuff. If we do another question, we have 4. 4 plus 4. In Abacus, we don't memorize our doubles. We don't do it this way. What we do is we memorize our formulas. So if I want to add the 4, there's not enough beads. I need to add this 5. I cannot have this 5 being a freeloader. I need to add the 5. So when I add the 5, I'm going to take away the 1. So my final answer is 8. Does that make sense? Anybody? Bueller? I know Neon Panther's okay with it. So does Kaylee, Mateo, Dana, do you guys all understand? Cynthia, are we still here? We're okay? Does that make sense? Yes. Yes. Okay, Cynthia. So does that, okay, so what we just did is we understand how to make a 4. Now, what happens? Well, if you notice, we have all these other formulas to use. So when do we do a 3? Well, when you do a 3 is when we do 7. So 4 plus 7, right? Oh, hey, Jose, welcome. Good, that makes sense. Good. I'm so happy. So what's going to happen is if I do the 3, remember if we do the 3, it's plus 3 is equal to plus the 5 minus the 2. Wow, yeah, right? Welcome to the real world. So what we're doing is we're going to do the question. This question is, let's do 4 plus 3. When we do 4 plus 3, again, we know our formula, right? Our sentence. Our sentence is 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. And then again, 6. Yeah, right? That's crazy. There's 8 of us. Wow. So what we're going to do is we're going to isolate the variable, okay? We're going to isolate the variable. That means we want to make the 3 by itself to isolate the variable. The reason why is because we have this 0 right here. I'm sorry, this 3 right here. That's why we want to isolate the variable, because we don't have enough beads to add the 3. So I have 4, I want to add 3. To add the 3, I don't have enough. I want to do 3 is equal to 5 plus 2. Does that make sense? Oh, no, not plus 2, minus 2. I need to minus the 2. So I minus the 2. I'm going to add the 5. It's too much. So I need to minus the 2. So my final answer is 7. So notice what I'm doing is I'm not memorizing doubles. What I'm doing is I'm memorizing the formulas. I'm memorizing concepts that we're teaching the kids. We're teaching the kids 5, how to make a 5. And the reason why is because we have this thing that cannot break. We can't break this 5, but we can massage it a little bit. We can move it around a little bit. Does that make sense? So my final answer is 7. That's not 7. This is 7. So we have 4, right? 4, and then we plus the 5 and then take away the 2. So again, it's the same thing with the others. Does that make sense? Are we okay? So what now, if you look, what happens if we take away? Well, taking away is very similar. Taking away, right, is minus 3 minus 2 equals minus 5. Wait, you can do negatives? This is like taking away stuff, right? If I had 7, if I had 7, I want to take away the 3. Taking away the 3 is not really a negative. It's just removing, right? So what we're doing again is we're going to isolate the variable. Now we're compounding our question. No, we're compounding our math skill. We're compounding the understanding. This is a very familiar pattern now. This is a number pattern that we're dealing. So we have minus the 3 is equal to what? Minus the 5 plus the 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to minus the 5 and we're going to plus the 2. My final answer is 4. Hey, Steve Dumb. Does that make sense? Are we okay? No? Was that too much? Thank you for the follow, Jose. Okay? So that is about subtraction. We're going to do another one. We'll do the 4, right? We'll do the 4. Why? Because it's the same. The pattern is the same. So we do minus 4. When we do the minus 4, it's the same thing. We're going to do minus 4 minus 1 equals to minus 5. And again, what we're going to do is, why we're going to do that? When we have 6. When we have 6. 6 minus 4. We want to take away the 4. There's not enough b's to take away the 4. So what do? We have our formula. Minus 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. So I'm going to, these are directions. Minus the 5 and plus the 1. So my final answer is 2. Yes, thank you, Neon Panther. Any questions? No questions? You guys are very quiet today. This is a quiet class. All right, so here's a question. Okay, here's a question. So notice that we have 4, right? We have 4 plus 4. Let's talk about it. Let's do 4 plus 4. We know that that's 8, right? We have 4, and then we add another 4. To add another 4, we know it's plus the 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1. So I put my big brain hat on. So we add the 5 and we take away the 1. Okay, let's do it again. We have 8, and then we want to add another 4. 8 plus 4 is what? Can we add a 5? No. We cannot add a 5. The next thing we need to do is what? What is the next thing we need to do? Well, if you notice, to make a 10. To make a 10, we know that we have to plus the 4 and 6. Yes, thank you, Neon. We have to 4 and 6 is equal to 10. What? What do you mean? Well, that's the same thing, right? That's the same process. So if you look, I have plus the 4. So I go 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate the 4. So I'm going to do 4 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 6. Wait, what? What are we trying to do here? Well, if you look, plus the 10, right? There's my 10. So I'm going to plus the 10. If you look, 10 is a 1 and a 0. Plus the 10 and 0. So I'm going to go 1 to the left. I'm going to plus the 10 and I'm going to take away the 6. So my final answer is 12. That's it. That's it. So what did we just do? We just understand how to add the 5, use the 5, and then we use the 10. That's what we're doing. And so my final answer here is 12. Thank you, Neon Panther. So what we're just doing, best class. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is I'm trying to show the other concepts that we have. And these are the concepts that we're teaching the kids. And what I'm doing in the abacus world is we're leveling up our concepts. And so that's what we just did. So when we have it, right, we can do it again. We can do 7. We can do 7. Oh, I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, there we go. 7. So we add 7 to the abacus. I'm sorry, yeah, 7 to the abacus. We want to add the 4. Can we add the 4? No, we need to is plus the 10 minus the 6. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 6. And so my final answer is 11. Anybody have any questions? Jose, did you want me to start over? And and show you how to read the abacus, or do you understand it? Okay. So we can continue on with 8. So we already did 8, we did 7, we could do 6, but that's okay. All right. So what we can do, okay, cool. So what we can do now is, if you notice, what we just did is we talked about number patterns. The first thing we did is we understood that we had enough beads. We did not need to use any formulas. We had enough beads for it. So if I show you what 6 is, right? If I show you 6 and I want to add the 2, do I have enough beads to add the 2? Yes. So I added the 2. This is what we call simple. The reason why it's called simple is because we have enough beads, right? The question is, can we do it? Yes, we can. Just like Bob the Builder. Can we do it? Yes, we can. However, if this is the number, right? This is pink. The reason why it's pink is because this is when we start utilizing the 5 bead. So this here is when we start talking about the 5 bead. Even if we did this, when we add the 2, when we add the 4 and I want to add the 2, to add the 2, I have to plus the 5 minus the 3. So my final answer is 6. Okay? And then after that, we did is the 10, how to make a 10. And that's what all of this is. So if you notice, I don't have enough beads. When we do 8, let's do 8. We do 8 and we plus another 8. Remember, to plus an 8, the partner of 8 is 2. So we're going to plus the 10, and all we got to do is take away the 2. My final answer is 16. So when we look at it, what we just did is that's the number pattern. And again, it's very similar to subtraction. And it's very similar to subtraction. But the thing is you'll notice that there's a pattern. Now, why do we have this one that's white? The reason why it's white, because this is now called a two-step equation. Wait, what's a two-step equation? A two-step equation is when you take your information from your 5s and your 10s and you bring it together like Tetris. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play a little bit of Tetris with our formulas. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so what we're going to do is a boom, boom, boom. Okay, sorry. Let me go back. Where is my... Okay, here we go. I have all of these papers and props. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to... 5. We'll do 5. So one of the questions that one of my parents had was, well, I want my child to know what 8 plus 5 and 5 plus 8. Isn't that the same? And I'm like, no, it's not the same. What? Why? Because if we look, right, we have the 8. The 8, we add 8, and then 5, plus the 5. We know plus 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus 5. We know this. So what we're going to do is we're going to plus the 5, and then plus the 10 minus the 5. So my final answer is 13. That's because of this 5, right? This 5 is now a tens, right? We talked about how to make a 10. So now what we need to do is we need to make an 8. We want to do 5. So we do 5 and then we plus the 8. Plus 8 is what? Plus 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus 2. So we're going to plus the 10. And look, we cannot minus the 2. To minus the 2, right? To minus the 2, what do? We can utilize our 5 formula. To utilize our 5 formula, we'll do minus the 2, right? Because that's what we're doing. Minus the 2. We minus the 2. What do we need to do is minus the 5 plus the 3. So I'm going to minus the 5, thank you, Neon, and plus the 3. So my final answer is 13. So notice that now this is a two-step equation because this right here needed to be done. This is the way. This is minus the 5 plus the 3. That is what needed to be substituted into here. This is why it's called a two-step equation. That's the only reason why. And it can get more, but this is why we get a two-step equation. Because we have to modify our numbers. Does that make sense? All right. So we're going to continue on with doing some more two-step equations. The reason why is because there's a lot of two-step equations, and I think adding is a little bit underrated. So another question that I have was, okay, we'll do 88. We can do 88 plus 6. 88 plus 6, right? So we have 88 on the abacus. We do 88 on the abacus, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to add 6. So we're going to add 6 to this. To add 6 is what? Plus the 6 is equal to plus the 10 minus 4. I'm going to plus the 10. And I'm going to take away the 4. I don't have any beads to take away the 4, so what am I going to do? I am going to, what do we do? This. Minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. So if I line it up, I just need to minus the 5 and I add the 1. And my final answer is 94. And that's it. Anybody have any questions? I just got tired. Oh my God. I might actually have to end this one early because I can't keep my eyes open. So, are we okay? Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions? So what we just did is we're just learning how to do two-step equations. That's what it is, two-step equations. And so, oh yeah, you're welcome, Mateo. Is there any questions? You have no questions? Nothing that you're wondering? But yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Excuse me. So there's other ones that we can do, right? So we know how to do this. What we can do is we can do a string. So we could do 9, 9, and 9. And then we could do, I don't know, plus 5, right? So what we're going to do is, same thing. We'll add 9, 9, 9, and we need to do is we need to add the 5 here. Well, this gets a little hairy, right? Why does it get a little hairy? Because when we add the 5, what do? We plus the 5 equals to minus the plus the 10 minus the 5. We can say this minus the 5 plus the 10. Why would we want to say that? Because here we're going to plus the 5, I'm sorry, minus the 5. We're going to minus the 5. Let's see if I have my, there we go. So we're going to minus the 5, right? And then I'm going to plus the 10. I'm going to plus the 10 here. But to plus the 10, what do? We cannot plus the 10. So that means what? Plus 1 is equal to plus the 10 minus 9. So what are we going to do? We're going to minus the 9 and then plus the 10. So I'm going to minus the 9. I'm going to plus the 10. Again, I can't do it. So what do? I have to do it again. Minus the 9 and then plus the 10. So my final answer, because I'm done now, because I've already added the 10, my final answer is 1004. Did that make sense? Hey, Anja. Welcome. Innovation. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, it's such a simple and elegant little thing, but it's so interesting. All right. We all right? Does that make sense? Are we okay? So, oh, sorry, I should write it. I should write my answer. So my answer is 1004. Okay. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for the likes. I do appreciate that. All right. Are we okay? Any questions? Any questions? We can do more two-step equations if that makes sense. Anything? Bueller? Excuse me. Yeah. It's coming down now. All right. It was really exciting in the beginning, and then all of a sudden my energy level went boom. All right. So, any questions? Anything I can answer? What do we have any? Do we want to continue on with some two-step equations, or do we want to go into multiplication? Because we can do either or. Anybody? Bueller? What would you guys like to do? We could do. Okay, you know what? Let's do this one. Let's do this one. This one's going to be interesting. So if we had 45 plus 9, this is a little interesting. Why? Because when we look at it, 45. Now we want to add the 9. When we add the 9, right? When we add the 9, there we go. When we add the 9, we're going to add the 9 here, but notice there's not enough beads to add the 9. So what are we going to do? Plus the 9 is equal to plus the 10 minus 1. So what we're going to do is we plus the 10 minus the 1 plus the 10. There's not enough beads to add the 10. So what we do, what are we going to do? Well, if you notice, we can utilize our 5. So if it's plus the 1 is equal to plus the 5 minus 4. Plus the 5 minus 4. And then don't forget, we have this one that we have to worry about. This one. Can we take away the 1? No, we can't take away the 1. So what are we going to do? Minus the 1 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 4. So now we're substituting this into this. That means minus the 5 plus the 4. So my final answer is 54. How are we doing? Great. Fantastic. So it makes sense? All right. So that's the interesting thing about it. So then what I was trying to do is we could do some, if I can find a page, a blank page. So here's the things that I was trying to figure out. You know what? We're going to start workshopping because I think it's just the two of us. Nobody else has been talking. So I've been trying to workshop this, and I was thinking about like all the 2's that we can do. So if we did 23 times that by 6. So if we did 23, do you remember how to do multiplication? Did I show you how to do multiplication, Neon? So what we need to do is we need to understand where we're going to put our starting point. Okay, good. So our starting point is where? 1, 2, 3. 3 is our digit. So we're going to know that we're going to put our digit here somewhere, right? So it can be here or there. It doesn't matter. But the idea is to know that it's around here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come out first. We're going to go left to right. So 6 times 2 is equal to 12. I add my 1. I add my 2. And then what am I going to do? Thank you. After that, I do 6 times 3, right? 6 times 3 is equal to what? 18. I add my 1, and then I add my 8. And so my final answer is 138. Notice that that was a simple. That means what? That means there was no formulas, right? 138. Yes, thank you. 138. So I'm trying to figure out like I was going to do is I was going to have what I'm trying to think about. I was actually in the process of workshopping. We're workshopping the introduction to Abacus for adults. That's what I'm trying to do. And I think I figured out how to introduce multiplication at an easier level. So so 6. Yeah. So if we did if we did what? I think I need to do is I need to print out a few things. Hello, Ethan. Welcome back, Ethan. I don't know if you left. I don't know if you left and joined. Right? So, what are we doing? We need to multiplication. Oh, excuse me. Multiplication. Yeah, okay, we can do that. That's a good one. That's a good one. So we do 37 times that by 5. So if I look at it, right, we do 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So what it is 3 times 5, right? 3 times 5 is equal to 15. It's equal to 15. So we had our 1, we had our 5. And then what do we do? 5 times 7 is equal to 35. We add our 3, we add our 8. And our final answer is 188. Whew. All right. I think I figured out the situation. The problem is what? The problem is trying to combine everything. So if we did another one, right? Let's do another one. We do 2-digit. What if we did 2 digits? So 30, let's do 26. 26 times that by 38. That's why it gets complicated. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our starting point. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here, and it's 3 times 2 is equal to 6. 6 is a single digit. Thank you. Thank you, Neon. 6 is a single digit, so I go back one column and I add my 6. And then we do 3 times 6 is equal to 18. I add my 1, I add my 8. All right, that's fine. So now what do we do? Well, we finished this, so we got to recount. 1, 2, 3. Not 3, 4 digits. Yes, now 4, now 3. 1, 2, 3. So what are we going to do is 8 times 2 is equal to 16. 16. Add the 1, add the 6. Do I have enough beads to add the 6? No, we don't have enough beads to add the 6. So what are we going to do? Add the 6. Plus 6 is equal to plus the 10 minus 4. So we're going to plus the 10 and take away the 4. There's not enough beads to take away the 4. So minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. Minus the 5 plus the 1. And then what are we going to do? 8 times 6 is 42. Add 4, plus the 5 minus 1, and then add 2. Okay, not hundreds. 6 is the thousands. 6 is the thousands. Why is 6 the thousands? No. Why is it 1,000? Why is it 4 places? 6. Oh, no, but 6 is a single digit. 6 is a single digit, so you go back one column. Because if you look, right? Let's see. Can I get a whoop whoop calculator? Right? So what is it? It's 26 times that by 38. Yeah, 900. Yeah. See that's one of the rules. So you notice the 6 is a single digit. So if it's a single digit, we go back one column, not forward. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, we do 6. We go here. 6 is a single digit. That's why. Yeah. Thank you for the hearts. Oh, okay. So after we do 6 and then we do 18, we do 18, and then we go, 18. And then after that we do 16. Add the 1, add the 6, add the 1, add the 6. Plus the 6 is plus the 10 minus the 4. Minus the 4, and then, what are you doing? 42. Add the 4, add the 2, add the 4, add the 2. No, that's not right. That's wrong. It's supposed to be 8. That's supposed to be 8. Yeah, gonna jot that down. Yeah. Yeah. So if it's a single digit, it go back one column, right? Because if you look at it, we actually look at it this way. We actually do 0, 6. Have a leading 0, right? 48. Yeah. Yeah, that's my bad. I think I need to go to bed. That one was an easy mistake. When I start making mistakes, then I know it's time for me to go. But thank you, I do appreciate it. But does that make sense? So what we do when we do the 3 times 6 is equal to 6, sometimes we have a leading 0. Does that make sense? So with the leading 0, that will help, understand where to put the number. Yeah. I saw somebody do that. I'm like, huh, that makes a lot of sense to me. So I sometimes use it, I sometimes don't. Some people don't understand it, which is fine. But I think for me, because I'm doing it, I think it makes sense to me. Because like when we read the time, right? Like right now, 12:06, right? That's the time. Not right now, but you know what I mean, right? So when we read the time, we have a leading 0. So I don't know why some people can't see that, but that's okay. All right. Yes, I think that mistake is that's the mistake that tells me that it's time to pack it up a little bit. But it is a little late, and I wanted to say hi to everybody. And I was hoping to see Ethan, and I did see Ethan to let him know about the little invention that I created because of his suggestion. So I did that, and that was good. I feel pretty good. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in my next live. See you later, Neon Panther. Have a good night. Thank you so much for the conversation. Bye. Have a good night. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Oh, bye, Jose. You're still here. I didn't know you were still here. You're so quiet. Thank you, Pamela, for liking my live. Okay. Have a good night.